record. Never mind, they're gonna be... Oh, Maverick! Oh, never mind!
Who is that?
Dixon in the driver's seat. Ingram behind him down the back straightaway. A little bit of juking out there. It's like a football field.
Yeah, taking some IndyCar lines down the back straightaway. Ingram really closes up on the back bumper of the 15. He's all over it as we go through 3 and 4. He's there on the bottom. He's sitting inside. Coming to the checkered flag. Oh, the big comes in. All 3 of them. Around.
Musa's gonna.
Oh, he's gonna use that apron.
He's gonna use the apron.
They're gonna be side by side. Coming off the corner. Boy, back to the inside. It's gonna be a drag race to the line. Top Musa gets it.
Top Musa, where did he come from?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to tonight's feature presentation of the ASRA National Championship here from the Michigan International Speedway. As always, I'm your host, Joe Twansky. Alongside me tonight, it's Mr. Tommy Bordeaux. Welcome to the booth, Tommy.
Hey, Joe. Good to be back here for another ASRA race. Here we are in Michigan again, Joe. We didn't move much from where we were Saturday night. Got some good deals at some hotels here. I got to stay with the Joe Twansky family, which is pretty good. So.
Yeah, pretty cheap hotel you got.
Yeah.
got a little buzzing going on. Looks like it's a chilly night, so I wouldn't be surprised if a little ice got in the lines up here in the booth. 40 degrees here tonight at the Michigan International Speedway for this event. We're going to be going to qualifying in just a second, and tonight we have a special qualifying procedure. We'll have group qualifying. We'll split the field in half, let them go out there, qualify in groups to set the starting lineup for this, the National Championship race for the ASRA National Championship. It's going to be a fun time tonight. You'll see at the top of your screen our Championship 4 led by Josh Boyer in both points championship formats. The number on the top is the points back for this IndyCar Championship, the points on the bottom for the overall championship here with the ASRA TMP Combined Series Championship. That was 30 races. This championship that you'll see the points on the top, that was for the 10 races. And we'll figure it out. We'll guide you through it as we always do here on JTN. But what we're going to ask from you, because we're going to do all this work for you, just hit that like button on the video. We want to get to try 20 likes tonight. I think that's a reasonable goal for a championship race. What do you think, Tommy?
I'd say so, Joe. I'd say so.
It's going to be a fun time, and you are not going to want to miss it all live here on JTN. Woo! I'm ready to get going. I'm ready to get this qualifying session underway. Welcome to the chat, Captain Stonic, Ian Rubino, Mackenzie Weston. Welcome all. Hope you're having a fun time. We got a couple new faces in the field tonight. This, though, the 21 car of Mojo, not a new face whatsoever here for you fans of the ASRA and TMP Racing Series. A large field tonight, too, compared to some of the other races earlier on this year. It's going to make it a fun time. Folks, a great way to help support us here at JTN is to head on over to our diecast partner, CircleBdiecast.com, for all your diecast collectible needs. You can get NASCAR diecast, IndyCar diecast, any diecast that you want there. CircleBdiecast.com. Use code JTN at checkout for free shipping on your order of $20 or more. What a great deal for all our viewers, huh? Tommy's mic is still not working. Bristol is rapidly working underneath the desk, trying to figure out what's wrong. You'll love it. You'll love to see it. Like Mojo's got the the road wing on. Don't know how officials will feel with that. There's such a mad scramble over there between Tommy and Briss right now trying to figure this mic issue out. It's great. Folks, let's take you through the championship 4 though going into tonight. So Josh Boyer leads the way in both championships overall. And Tom Moose is there in second in that 4 car. He's 2 points back for both those championships. Got to think that is a very manageable gap there. Roger Nebelsack, 2 points back in the IndyCar Championship. Obviously won the race at Laguna Seca a few weeks ago. And then 3 points back in the overall championship, where Rich Finkel, our Cup Series champion from last week's race at Texas, he's 4 points back here with the IndyCars and 5 points back on the overall. Looks like the first group's getting ready to go qualifying here. Let's see, it's going to be Dan Rubino, Herman Reese, Rod Weston, Mike Hartman, or Matt Bergeron, excuse me, in the 17, 21 of Mojo, 41 of Josh Boyer, and the 4 Tom Musa. So 2 of our 4 championship 4 drivers, and the 2 at the top of the pylon here for this first group of qualifying. It's going to be based on speed. You're going to see lap times on your ticker, but we will have that starting lineup all sorted out for you. Ron Milkey also, he's going to be on pit road, so it looks like everyone else staging there on pit road waiting to go, and we're green for the session. Dan Rubino going to jump out in front of this pack, going to lead the line here. It's going to be interesting to see how guys try to game this qualifying. You want to be able to get a good draft, a good suck up down the straightaways to make some good lap times. Draft is going to be very important here at Michigan, where we're going to be full throttle throughout the night. Already, oh no, the 21 car has blown up. That's Mojo. That is going to do a couple things, folks. It's going to splinter this pack a little bit more, but it's also going to mean the 21 car is out for the session.
Boy, how about that already? That quick into the qualifying session and group qualifying, Joe. Such a unique format here tonight. This is a really draft-heavy track in the race for sure, but on qualifying, it just makes it that much more important to have your dance partner.
Very aggravating. Just like having some, JTN technology issues,
Yeah, I do know.
I'm telling you, someone came up here and tried to sabotage. We were set up perfect on Saturday night, where we saw an excellent show. We're going to see an excellent show tonight. Qualifying still going on. Dan Rubino leading this. Rod Weston there second in line with Herman Reese. These 3 guys under a blanket right now, doing a really good job of drafting. Meanwhile, further back, Tom Musa, Matt Bergeron, and Josh Boyer kind of splintered a little bit, but this 41 car is probably going to get a good run here down the back straightaway down into the corner.
Yeah, he's in a great place to be, especially off the corner onto these straightaways. If you got that car in front of you cutting through the air, that's really where you're going to gain a lot of speed. Let's see what that 41 car runs. Ooh, not the fastest time yet, but he ties number 19 in second place in the charts thus far. 19 being Rod Weston, of course, who's in a 3-car pack of his own. Behind him, Herman Reese and Dan Rubino.
Herman Reese doing a little bit of blocking on that 44. Dan Rubino, a little side-by-side. Reese not happy with that car in opening practice here at Michigan. Not going to be a good lap time there for either of those drivers.
No, not quite yet. That's the big difference between qualifying and the race. And we have group qualifying. Joe, if I may interject some real-world experience here.
Yes.
We have group qualifying in both the kart racing that I do, have done, and the SCCA Spec Miata events we do. And there's a fine balance between getting in the right position that you want to be in, and also making sure you're not losing time by racing the guy in front of you. So this spacing is kind of important. It's a little bit different here at a track like Michigan, an oval, compared to a road course, because while driver skill is very important, the layout doesn't necessarily lend itself to much more than just keep the throttle open as much as you can. But positioning is very important for these laps to get the most draft you can without inhibiting any of your lap by having to let off for the guy in front of you.
Yeah, how do you game it? I mean, here it's a lot about draft. So are you kind of laying back for a lap or so, trying to get about what is it, 6-7 tenths of a second, so that way you have a full lap of where you're just catching the guys in front. Heck, if they maybe get side by side in front of you, that's going to punch an even bigger hole in the air and give you even more of a run.
Joe, you said it exactly like I would. You want to lay back, give it as big of a gap as you can, and then just spend that whole lap, like you said, catching up to them. And hopefully by the end of the lap, you can stake right behind them, right up to their back bumper. I suppose on these cars there are no back bumpers. Their rear wings to get the fastest lap you possibly can without having to let up at all or brake at all or anything like that.
It looks like there was a crash. Tom Musa and Mike Hartman involved, or Matt Bergeron. I'm going to do that too much tonight. I'm sorry, Matt. Last year's winner here at Michigan involved in that one in turn 1. We will... let's try to get you a replay of that real quick here. Can't get it real quick. What happened? Or a second group goes out. But right now, who's leading the way, Tommy?
Right now, it's none other than Josh Boyer, your championship leader, in both the overall and series leading points here in the IndyCar section of this season. And he's got about 3/10 over the 59 right now, of course, of Herman Reese. So quite a bit of a huge gap here. You wouldn't suspect something like that at a track like this, but that 41 Boyer's managed to game the system perfectly, Joe, and get himself a really fast time here in Group 1.
And Group 2 getting ready to go out. It's going to be Rich Fenkel in it 2, the 85 of Ricky Bumbalow, the 33 Tom Faskow, 60 of Ron Milkey, 34 of Steve Rubino making his first start, then yellow car, that was Doug Palmer way out on track, and then the ski machine of Roger Nebelsack, our final of our 4 championship contenders. They're the second pack, the second group, Tommy, already coming off pit road. They look like they're playing a little nicer. They're keeping all close together.
Yeah, well, you know, you don't have that engine issue like Mojo had to splinter that pack, so they're all together. This could lead to some faster times, but also, if you're not too careful, possibly some crashes here. You certainly don't want to crash out of qualifying. At least not before you've set a good lap.
You want to at least get a good lap. It looks like the officials, though, they let Mojo come down. They replaced that motor really quick. I was very surprised by how well that team did, but they replaced that motor for him, so they let him get back out there on track, so he wasn't at too big of a deficit there. So good move by the ASRA officials.
Something I should mention here, Joe, before we get into the racing portion of tonight, is the temperature here in Michigan. It's a classic winter's Michigan day. I suppose now it's early spring. 40 degrees. We're not too far away from the barrier of snow, but it looks like the precipitation is staying away well enough that we're going to have tonight's race. But it sure is cold up here in the booth.
Yeah, it's a chilly 40 degrees here. But just, you know, stay in Michigan for a couple hours and the weather will change. You know, it'll change. It'll get to something where you want. It's gonna be 80 degrees here tomorrow, so it'll change. It'll change. 100 laps tonight for the main event here at this 2-mile racetrack. I guess it's pretty much a super speedway at this point, but it's gonna be a fun show. Right now, Steve Rubino out front of the pack. But how are these guys kind of stacking up with that first group right now, Tommy?
Right now, up at the top, it's still Josh Boyer. He's still got a couple tenths on these guys. I'm really surprised by that, actually, Joe. I thought maybe they'd have more just because they're in a bigger pack, more cars to work with. But thus far, hasn't really shown up on the time sheets just yet. As they come to the start-finish line this time, we'll take a look and see what we got. Still not much of a change up top, but we do have a new car in second place on the leaderboard. That's the number 85. That's Ricky Bumbalow, up to second on the board right now.
And I was going to say, it pays a point to win the pole position. So if you're Josh Boyer, that's an extra point you'll have on the rest of those guys behind you going into the race, because you'll lead the first lap of the event. Because we're going to take a lap to get everything sorted out, because we're not using the traditional qualifying, of course. We'll see what happens this time by. I was watching that 51 really lagging back a lot. Don't know where that lap's lined up for him that time by.
Yeah, not the greatest lap. Currently sitting 8th is Roger Nebelsack, but he's doing what you talked about, Joe, laying back a little bit. I think one of these laps coming up here, he's going to be at full bore. He's got the draft all the way through, so expect that 51 car to have a good lap here coming up shortly. We'll see how he goes through turn 3 and 4 on this time.
I think this might be the lap, because all these guys in front of him are getting 2, 3, 4 wide. It seems like not minding their P's and Q's as much as I thought they would be.
Not quite, and look at that line from Nebelsack up to second on the charts with a 31.991. Still though, Joe, a tenth of a second about from Josh Boyer in that 41 car. Wow.
Well, he did the exact same thing as Boyer did. Just laid back a lot, but I think he's getting stalled out now. He laid back so much, but these guys have just been really racing in this second group. You'd figure it'd be, okay, let's stay in line. All right, now the guy that was out front, you can go ahead and follow the back, and we'll just do that for 6 laps or however many we get here. Because they're getting about 6 to 8 in the session. Oh, no contact there. Steve Rubino going to come back up the track. That's going to take a bunch of them out. And that's going to end the session probably for the 51, the 85, and the 34.
Yeah, that was a kaleidoscope of colors in turn 1 and 2 after that collision. Looks like everybody's okay. Their car's actually driving away from that. Quite surprised. At least 2 of them are. Hopefully those drivers are not too shaken up, though.
Looks like the rest of the field's going to come back down pit road. I believe that will end the session. We should get about 4 minutes here for the guys to warm up real quick. Those guys that were out there in the first session, looks like that's what's going to happen. Josh Boyer going back out. So that way they can, get a good run at pit road and whatnot. But, Tommy, you should be getting from the officials in... they should be sending over a telegram here in a second with the official starting lineup, and we'll have you read that off once you get it.
I've got my eyes out for Western Union to see what they can deliver to me.
There's fan favorite Dan Rubino. And folks, you can now own on the JTN merch store our JTN IndyCar t-shirt. Low price of $17. It's your classic, really soft, really nice feeling JTN shirt with an IndyCar on it. Just for you, the IndyCar viewers at home, make sure you head on over to our merch store, linked in the description below. It's available now on our JTN merch store, the JTN IndyCar tee.
Was wearing my Tommy's World shirt in the most recent Tommy's World episode this last Saturday night. No big road trip to the track this week, like I mentioned, still at Michigan. But go check out that Tommy's World merchandise on the JTN merch store. I'll tell you what, Joe, it is a one comfortable shirt.
One comfortable shirt, indeed. I believe Josh Boyer is going to be our pole sitter by virtue of him parking it down there in Victory Circle. You're getting things sorted out, it sounds like.
If not, he's at least pretending like he did and hoping nobody notices otherwise. Not a bad move at all.
Hey, maybe they don't notice. That's a very good point. Well, Tommy, you had some news this past week about actually racing. Would you want to share it with the fans at home?
Yeah, sure thing, Joe. Well, it was just about a week or 2 ago that I got approved by the ARCA competition committee to race on road courses in the ARCA Menard Series East, West, and the main show. East this year doesn't have any road courses, but the main and West do. Earliest is Sonoma, June 5th. And Mid-Ohio, June 4th, I believe. Now, I don't think I'd make the trip out to Mid-Ohio, but boy, that Sonoma date is quite enticing. Working on putting something together for that. Might have to miss a broadcast or 2 on JTN, but I hope that's understandable, Bristol.
Hey, you got laps at that track too, so.
Oh, that's right. It's one of my favorites. Been going there. Didn't get to last year, but the 2 previous years went there, ran really, really well. So, yeah, definitely one of my favorite racetracks, and they're pretty cool to race around there in a stock car, Joe.
Be on the lookout for Tommy Bordeaux ARCA Menard Series merch.
Hey, you never know. Still waiting for the final lineups to be sent over. But like you mentioned, Joe, Josh Boyer, fantastic time out of group number 1. Roger Nebelsack, the fastest out of group number 2, but a 10th of a second off, just about exactly from Boyer. So pretty close times at the top of the board, and certainly I think this is going to be a very tight race because the top 10 is only separated by 3/10 or so. And with how draft heavy this track is, it could be anyone's race to win.
It looks like happy hour just got reset. Or no, we're going to race.
Drivers, to your cars.
Well, I guess we'll do the starting lineup when they get in order.
Nice Chevy Camaro pace car leading these field of Indy cars. There's the command to start engines. And we will shortly be underway here at Michigan. The first lap we will take to get all lined up in the proper order after qualifying. And after that, we'll be ready to go green. This race will end on lap 100 on that ticker in the top left.
Look at you. Look at you.
Stepping out of the box of color commentary for just a moment there.
Just for a moment. Dan Rubino will lead them to the green in the race. But we will have an extra lap here to get everything set. So you'll see that pace car, you know. There he goes, flying down pit road in that Chevy Camaro pace car. Good looking pace car, might I add.
It is. Made in Detroit right here.
Made in Detroit. There we go. We're across the line. We'll get all lined up here for this start. I believe Roger Nebelsek's going to be starting on the outside here. On that 51, should we see Josh Boyer coming up there? You see him in that blue and with the white nose further back on the bottom. All right, so Josh Boyer going to get that extra point for leading the lap. We'll also keep track of the points tonight. But it's going to be Josh Boyer, Roger Nebelsek, row number 1. Row 2 looks to be Ricky Bumbleau and Herman Reese, Dan Rubino, and who's that? 33 car, Tom Fastcows, or actually, no, looks like 60 car. Something, you know.
Still sorting it out here on the backstretch.
All you need to know, Josh Boyer won the pole. Roger Nebelsek's outside of him. There's 2 points separating those two coming into tonight's race for this IndyCar Championship. So, going to be the story to watch all night long is we're going to where those 4 championship 4 drivers end up at the end of tonight. You also have the halfway points coming too, so you got to keep your eye out for that. Or do we? No, we don't have the halfway points. Never mind. My mistake. But just bonus points for leading the lap. Oh boy. Invisible pace car makes its way down pit road. We're getting ready to go racing here from the Michigan International Speedway to decide a champion. Green flags in the air. We are underway for the final race of the ASRA National Championship.
Good start for Josh Boyer, coming off of just a 2-week break from his RV Solar Late Model Series Championship. So that 41 team's got a lot of momentum. Completely different style of car, completely different kind of track, but showing he can get it done thus far, winning the pole. Now let's see what he can do in the race.
Coming off a good finish last week at Texas with the Cup cars. So a lot of momentum for this 41 team. They're out front early. 85 Ricky Bumbleau, though, he's starting to make up time. Bumbleau, Mr. Excitement here in the TMP and ASRA series.
Richard Fenkel in that just mentioned that Cup Series race at Texas. He was in a must-win situation. He did win and advanced into the Final 4 overall, winning the TMP MMF Series Championship. Now, he didn't start this race very well, but I would expect him to be towards the front here shortly. A lot of drafting at play in this track. Doesn't matter where you start, Joe. Just about where you finish. Just about where you finish, but you also want to try to get that lap led. So that way you can make up some more points. To the bottom for the lead, it's Ricky Bumbleau. Josh Boyer on the outside. He's going to have help from teammate Roger Nebelsek. Don't know if that help will be there all night long as those two are battling for that championship. Well, no, but Bumbleau did get that extra point there for leading that lap. So for what it's worth, that 85 team, it's got at least a little bit of a confidence boost there, and now is comfortably in the lead. And Herman Reese now challenging to the inside of Boyer for second. Reese sends it down onto the bottom. And don't look now, first race, rookie driver Steve Rubino. Well, maybe not a rookie in NR or any kind of racing, but Rubino charging to the front right now. And hey, look, who is that? It's Rich Fenkel in the 2 car. How about that, Joe? I told you he'd come up here.
Oh,
And there he
no!
is.
We got big problems
Oh, my goodness.
involving one of our championship contenders, Roger Nebelsick, up into the catch fence in turn 1. Still driving, looks okay, but that's going to be our first caution of the night.
Joe, that could have huge implications on this championship battle. Not a good start for Nebelsick.
Well, and I think back to last year where the exact same thing happened, Tommy. Early incident for the 51, and it cost them a good car and a chance at winning the title.
You're right, Joe.
Here's
That could mean something big.
Looks like he got into the wall a little bit on entry, came back down into the 44. 44 Rubino was there. Just that contact really sent that 51. Not too much damage, though. It doesn't, look like it, but who's to say? And we got a game crash. Hold on. We will be right back. All right, so connecting back to our video feeds in Michigan here after an early incident takes Roger Nebelsick out. Tommy, what are you seeing out there on track right now?
Right now, we got some pit stops going on, Joe. Lots of cars coming down pit road to get service, including Nebelsick himself. We'll see how much damage he has on that Indy car of his.
Drivers, to your cars.
A couple guys did stay out, though. Notably, up front, of course, Ricky Bumblow, our leader. He's staying out, holding on to that track position. Herman Reese in second, he stays out. It looks like he's saving a little bit of fuel, Joe. Now that's something, fuel mileage was a factor on Saturday night in the USRO Red Bull Cup Series race. We saw Sean Whitehill take the win after saving some gas. Don't know if we're going to see that here tonight, but Joe, it's always a possibility.
Yeah, I think we saw it last year, actually. I mean, Michigan, it's just a fuel mileage track, right? I mean, you have how many historic finishes here at Michigan involving fuel mileage? I think back to 2009's June Cup Series race where Mark Martin won, and I think Jimmy Johnson and Greg Biffle both ran out going down the back straightaway, and,
Don't forget Brian Vickers the year before as well.
How could I forget Brian Vickers?
How could anybody? I don't know.
Redheaded stepchild of Hendrick Motorsports. Quite literally.
Quite literally.
See a bunch of people in chat. Jeff Stakenis, cheering on Herman Reese. Brendan Spatafor, Brendan the Gent. Cheering on Dan Rubino. Hope you're feeling better soon, Brendan. Barbara tuning in, cheering on the two Rubino brothers. But, yeah. We're having fun tonight here. Make sure if you folks haven't already, I see there's 17 people watching. There's only 6 likes on the video. If you haven't already hit that like button, what are you doing? You gotta hit it. You gotta hit it. You gotta help us here at JTN by hitting that like button on the video. Make sure you're subscribed as well to JTN. It goes a long way for us, and we really appreciate it so much.
Yeah, been doing really well here recently, Joe. Gained a lot of new fans over here on the weekend. That subscriber count just keeps going up. 500 was a huge milestone. And boy, you start talking about numbers like 600, 700. Seems pretty real. Amazing we have that much support out there. It's all thanks to you watching at home, hitting that like button, watching these, tuning in. We really appreciate that.
You can also check out our Twitter and Facebook. I just put the Twitter link in our chat, but you can also check out the Facebook. Those are both, of course, always linked in the video descriptions. Looks like we're 1 to green. Ricky Bumblow, Herman Reese, 1-2 for the restart. Steve Rubino, Ron Milkey, Tom Musa, so now highest of our championship drivers, Fast Cows, Doug Palmer, Wade Driscoll, Mojo, Dan Rubino, Rod Weston. Looks like Rich Fenkel back down on pit road, Roger Nebelsick and Josh Boyer. So those 3 championship contenders know they're at the back right now, so they'll just come back down, probably top off on fuel. Yep, looks to be the case.
Hey, not a bad call. Not a bad call at all. About 39 laps on a fuel run here, Joe. Who knows the way the cautions fall, how long green flag runs go. We might have ourselves in position for a classic Michigan fuel mileage race finish again. But it's still very early yet here. We're going to be coming to lap 10 of 100 when this thing goes green once again. And, of course, the pace car lights are off, so we will be there shortly.
We will be there shortly here in beautiful Brooklyn, Michigan, in the Irish Hills. Pace car makes its way down pit road. Ricky Bumbleow about to lead him back. The green flag in his Gas Monkey garage. Number 85 car. There we go. Green flag back out here at Michigan.
A little bit of a gap back to Tom Musa. That 4 car, our second place in that championship 4. That's back for the 5th position. Meanwhile, Ricky Bumbleow up front, leading the way. Herman Reese to the outside, while Steve Rubino makes the case on the inside line.
And rookie Steve Rubino down there on the bottom using that IndyCar line to get the lead. Oh, Herman Reese around on the entry to turn 3. He's down in the grass. He's going to be coming back up the track. We have more contact. Further up, Rod Weston around. Tom Musa slow. And that's going to bring out our second yellow.
I think I saw Musa get a piece of contact. Not sure if that was him or another blue car out there, but either way, could have some more championship implications early.
You never want to see those early either.
No.
Well, we saw what happened with Herman Reese. And, oh, there's the contact there. Hard with that right front of that wing on the nose. For Musa, looked like contact with the 33. Go to the visor cam with Rod Weston here. Get a good view of it up ahead. There's Herman Reese down to the left. There's Musa in the wall, and then he just kind of gets off the gas. You know, the car unloads a little bit there. Causes him to go around. A little bit of contact with the wall. Nothing that you can't buff out.
Hopefully not, but man, I mean, you mentioned it though, Joe. That number 4 car of Tom Musa into the wall hard with the nose. Front downforce, a huge deal with these Indy cars. Especially at a track like this with such high speed, you want to have that balance right. And you can only hope that similar to Roger Nebelsack, nothing too damaged on that 4 car.
Looks like he's going to stay out here. Probably thinking not going to be too bad. I believe it's moderate damage, so break the immersion a little bit. That's not a bad thing.
No, it is moderate damage, but you know, that keeps guys in this race that otherwise, I mean, that would no doubt be a race ender unrealistic damage. And,
right.
Instead, we still got a full field of cars.
Is that a good or a bad thing in your opinion?
In my opinion, I think it's good. It's sim racing, Joe. You know,
right.
It's serious, but you also want to have fun at the end.
Not
of
a
the
game, though.
That's right. No,
it's not a game. That's not what you're saying. Well, I was made aware, Tommy, that we might. We've had in-race reporters, and now we're 2 for 2 with in-race reporters winning races. I have a feeling we can't do any more in-race reporters because that's just not fair. But also, the drivers on the cover of our broadcast, so for the thumbnails, they usually don't get good finishes. But I don't think that's our fault.
Well, it's funny you mention that, Joe. There is that graphic out there showcasing some of the JTN broadcast thumbnails from the USRO Red Bull Cup Series races, and the results aren't very good for those drivers. Almost like the Madden curse or the EA Sports curse for the cover athletes on there. But, Joe, you mentioned it. I think it's just luck of the draw. I mean, if I were them, I would just finish better.
Well, and, you know, complaining about getting that extra sponsor exposure. A little rude, don't you think?
I would say so. Hey, this is valuable TV time.
You get to be on the thumbnail forever.
That's right. Although, if I recall correctly, it might have. We didn't broadcast Sonoma, so I wasn't on the cover of that. But I think Huang Do's own live stream, he had the TWB 57 up front, and that did not go well.
Well, maybe it's his. Maybe it's him.
It could be.
Hey, never know. No, a second early caution here at Michigan, trying to get things back underway. Steve Rubino out front. That U.S. Navy Chevrolet looking good. Always like those shark teeth paint jobs.
Oh, absolutely.
They
look great.
They're scary.
I know there was one, I think it was the Waste Management 198 driven by Tony Walker in NASCAR Thunder 2004. He had him on the front. Man, it's beautiful. It looks great.
Beautiful. They do it on the Air Force car.
Oh, yeah.
Which is really cool. Or they did last year. I think they're going to have a new Air Force car this year for Rich Petty.
I hope it's a Lightning one. I liked those. Those were good.
Yeah. Yeah, those would be good. But these shark teeth go back all the way to the Flying Tigers. who are a group of volunteer American pilots over in China during the Japanese invasion of China in 1937, 38. But that's what it all goes back to, and now that's been painted on A-10 Warthogs. I mean, it's been painted on planes all throughout now. But pace car lights are off. Steve Rubino out front. Ron Milkey there in second. Ricky Bumbleow, Dan Rubino. Fast Cows in the 33. Dog Palmer. Mojo. Roger Nebelsack. Josh Boyer. Wade Driscoll. Tom Musa. Rich Fenkel. Rod Weston. And Herman Reese. The rest of your remaining field here at Michigan. Pace car makes its way down pit road. Steve Rubino gonna lead him back to green here. Into the restart zone we go. Back underway at Michigan.
How about that, Joe? That's got to be quite the feeling for Steve to run up front in one of his first IndyCar races here, especially at a track like Michigan. And how about these two up front? Rubino with Ron Milkey behind him, pulling away from the rest of the field.
And they're absolutely moving right now off of turn 2. Big gap back to the rest of the field. Gotta feel confident with that, especially if we get a late race restart.
Absolutely. And how about that 3 wide on the back straightaway? John Palmer in the 108 car.
Ooh, drifted up a little bit through the center. But makes the pass work, moves his way up to third. That was an impressive move early on down the back straightaway.
Boy, it really was a strong move. And these guys, though, Joe, are already 2 seconds behind our leaders.
Mojo trying to get to the inside of Fast Cows. He's going to get that, or I'm sorry. Yeah, Fast Cows in the 33.
Boy, with Rubino and Milkey up there, reminds you of the 2-car tandems back in the day at super speedways.
I don't think
those two are gone.
I don't think they want to lock bumpers though, because I don't think that would work out.
Don't want to lock wings here in the IndyCars for sure.
That usually ends in a bad thing. I don't want to say the word because it's not a good word, but if chat wants to say the word, they could say the word. Starts with a C, ends with a rash.
Single file a little bit here, third on back with Palmer leading this group and Tom Fasco's right behind him. Our pole sitter Josh Boyer didn't have the best start that we've ever seen on a broadcast before. He's back there in 7th place, Joe. Had a lot of speed in practice and qualifying, but the Championship 4 leader coming into this race, struggling a little bit early on, could also just be patient and waiting around for his opportunity though, Joe.
Yeah, you got to think of a veteran like Boyer there in that 41. He knows how to win these championships. He's just biding his time right now.
Well, this group, though, Joe, the gap was 2 seconds a couple laps ago after the restart. Now they've cut it in half, so they are catching this duo out in front. And when they get there, Joe, they're going to have quite a lot of momentum catching them from where they were.
What do you think the tactic then is going to be for those front two? If you're Milky, I don't think you're in a position to make a block, but if you're Steve Rubino, you can kind of, see where that run's coming, where they decide to go, and kind of get in front of them.
Yeah, I don't think at this point, blocking.
I don't think you're going to block. That was a bad word to use.
Much too early.
Yeah.
But certainly, I don't know, shade to a certain area of the track where maybe they're going to go and see what happens. Yeah, nothing too rash, but here comes Palmer looking to the inside of Milkey for 2nd place.
He's going to get it done. Big head of steam down on the bottom, down the front straightaway. They're going to be side by side for the lead going down into turn 1.
Boy, and John Palmer has had a very, very quick car in turns 3 and 4 on the bottom. Now looking for the lead against Rubino. He's going to get it, I think. We'll see where the momentum takes him. Still side by side on the backstretch.
I was going to say, momentum looked like it was going to be on the outside, but second car line, Fast Cow, looked like he hit the wall a little bit off the corner. Really stalled out that outside line. Now the Rubino brothers, 2-3. Dan Rubino to the bottom.
Dan and Steve side by side in the front straightaway, but they're chasing John Palmer, who has made his way up through the field in that yellow 108 car, leading the way now after some very strong moves both on the restart and once that second pack caught up with the first. Joe, we've got 7 cars in this lead group here, all bunched together.
And trying to get a thing going on the outside. Palmer drifts up a little bit through the center of the corner. That outside, the 44 going to have a lot of momentum here. See where the 60 car goes. A Milky. It looks like he's trying to go to the inside, but here comes Mojo on the outside in that purple and orange machine.
How about that outside line? They're hanging tough. You know, we saw the outside line and multiple groups work in the stock cars on Saturday night. But right here, right now, we're seeing the Indy cars do it. You've got 3 on top, 3 on bottom. Josh Boyer a little ways back from them. But either way, Joe, evenly matched here. And these front 2 cars are just about side by side. Give the car length now to Palmer in the middle of the corner.
I was going to say, I think Josh Boyer sees what's up in front of him and just doesn't want any part of it right now until maybe they get back single file. Kind of laying back there.
Well, Joe, at the speeds, they're running 227 for our leader, John Palmer, going into turn 1. It wouldn't take much to cause a big incident running this fast around here, and certainly you need to be careful. There's still about 3/4 of this race to go. Plenty of time for things to go right or wrong.
Rubino on the bottom. Rubino up high for 4th. They're battling for that position. Give it to Steve there in that blue and yellow 34. Blue and yellow always looks good in the state of Michigan, I'd have to say. Now,
you don't think green and white do?
Oh my goodness, don't get me started. Those are the ugliest 2 colors in the world. Especially green, yucky.
Well, that's not a very nice way to talk about Tom Fascow's car in the 33.
Hey, he's got gold on there, but even then, ugh. Ron
Milky representing Western Michigan? Is that right?
No.
Central Michigan.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah. The Chippewas, is that right?
Yep.
How about that? Hey, you didn't think
Fire
I knew
up
that much about
chips.
Michigan.
Fire up chips.
Hey, but speaking of that blue, go blue with Steve Rubino back to the lead on Palmer. He takes the inside line away and gets up front with Dan right behind him. So we got Rubino and Rubino leading the way.
Wonder if those 2 will work together, if there's going to be a little competition there between them.
I don't know, Joe. There's usually not too much animosity, but we're also very early into the run. But everyone wants to at least lead a lap and get that bonus point. These guys aren't in the championship 4 necessarily, but anything feels good.
Well, this is Steve's first race here with the ASRA boys, so what an impressive first outing. I guess, you know, maybe Michigan might be one where maybe a little more confident, at least in being able to get a handle on the track. Maybe not with the moves that you have to make, because you have to make them so quickly with the runs you get, but a good showing right now for this 34 team.
It's at least a forgiving track. Pretty wide. People tend to be able to run different grooves without too much problem here. We saw 2 early incidents in this race, Joe, but since then, it's been pretty clear sailing. This top 7 group has pulled away big time from the latter half of this field, and that includes the 51 and 4 Roger Nebelsack and Tom Musa, respectively. Yeah, 2 of our championship 4.
Let's update you on this 51 car involved in that first incident. Way off the pace, almost a whole, about 3/4 almost a lap down right now as the leaders are entering the front straightaway. He's going into turn 1, so Nebelsack in danger right now of probably going a lap down in 5 or so laps, would you say? And then if we go further on forward, Tom Musa also falling way back of those leaders, so a lot more damage to those cars than what it appears.
Not a good start for either of them, but Richard Fenkel...
contact at the front!
Oh my goodness, Rubino up and over.
Doug Palmer got into Rubino, then Rubino got into Doug Palmer, and those were 2 different Rubinos. Caution out on lap 29.
Oh my goodness, and that was quite the tumble. In turns 3 and 4 right there for Steve. Car's still rolling though, Joe.
Yeah, but that's a lot of damage.
Yeah, we were just talking about how damage has affected already 2 of our championship contenders here. Quite the hit.
Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like the 108 might have got tight on entry, trying to make a move to the inside of the 34, washed up the track a little bit. That causes that contact. Then if we go further on up, here, so there's the 108 with contact. 108 loses a lot of momentum. 44 nowhere to go, gets into the 108. So both those guys around early here. Just over a quarter of the way.
Yeah, the laps tick off very fast when we get going green at such high speeds here, Joe. It's all these pace laps that slow things down, but this should make it into the window for these guys to just have a one-stop race from here on out, provided it goes green until the finish. So that's something to look out for. Certainly, if we do manage to get green flag pit stops at any point.
Looks like everyone's still in the race right now, Tommy. That's a good sign.
Absolutely. You know, you might as well keep trying. You never know what can happen. Perhaps there's a bigger wreck that takes out your championship competitors. You never really know until the checkered flag falls.
Barbara wrote in, no, LOL, and then so proud of my bros, and then no, no, no. So roller coaster of emotions there for the Rubino fan club.
Yeah, one moment you're driving 1-2, and the next one of them is in the wall hard.
One of them's in the fence, and one of them's taking out the guy that put it the other. Yeah, so, woo! Nothing intentional, too. I always try to make sure we say that when we talk about wrecks. It's not like these guys are just running into each other like it's a crash 'em up series, because it's not. These guys take it very seriously. But, oh man, when you see stuff like that, it's just, you gotta laugh, right, Tommy? You gotta laugh. It's just a sim. It's just a sim.
But I will tell you this, though. As we see Josh Boyer on pit road, there's a lot of cars in this race that still have a shot at it. You know, that second half of the field got kind of separated from the leaders there after the restart, but I would say they've still got a chance, at least the ones that don't have damage, to be back up there and make this thing really, really interesting. As of now, Roger Nebelsic does lead. Looks like he stayed out to at least get a lap led.
Yep. But, I mean, that could be an important point here at the end. We know that 51 car's hurting, but 41, 4 get involved in an incident. The 2, it would still at least make it a little bit more manageable. Again, 2 points back of the 41 going into tonight. Now still 2 points back if they were, you know, if we said, oh, okay, let's reset the race. But, it's still manageable, right? You can still have wrecks.
Anything's possible. If I've learned anything about racing, sim racing or real, anything is possible. One thing I should also mention here, Joe, after broadcasting so many of those USO Red Bull Cup Series races, you know, we don't really have these yellows with a pace car out there. I must say this Camaro pace car is looking very mighty fine up here leading the field. Although the lights just went off on it, and I think the lights were probably my favorite part of it. But that does mean we're going to go green here shortly. We're going to have just about, Joe, 65 laps to go-ish. A little touch over 65 to go when we go back green here this time. With Herman Reese leading the field currently. Looks like he's probably going to take that green on the restart unless his engine were to blow. I don't know where. You wouldn't want that
From the top rope.
Hey, it happened twice on Saturday night, so gotta be wary.
That was crazy. And we saw Mojo blow an engine at qualifying.
That's right. Motor City of all places too, Joe, for shame.
Maybe we should build better motors. I don't know. It wasn't a Toyota that blew up too Saturday night. One of them was a Toyota, so
a Toyota and a Ford. Yeah.
Well, Ford ended up winning, so I think it worked out. Pace car making its way down pit road here. Urban Reese, Ron Milkey, Dan Rubino, Mojo, and Fast Cow. Oh my goodness! I tried to hold that sneeze in. Green flag back out.
These cars getting up to speed pretty fast, already up front, 200 miles an hour on the speedometer for Herman Reese. These things get up to speed quickly and stay up there. Little breakaway of 4 cars up front, but they're all chasing Herman Reese.
These guys out back not getting up to speed as quickly. Is that just a product of kind of how these restarts work, where those guys up front, they really have the room to maybe make a couple mistakes, where the guys out back, they're kind of, those mistakes are compounding as you go back through the lineup?
Well, I think that's part of it, but definitely, you know, a lot has to do with the single file restarts too, Joe. You're different from those double file ones we get in a stock car race. The single file restarts really spread things out a lot more, so if you're not on it, and especially if the guy in front of you is not on it, that accordion effect can kind of slow you down, get you spread out further. And I think that's just kind of what we saw right there, although still plenty of time left in this race for that back group to get organized and catch these guys in front. Looks like it's just 4 of them right now. Tom Pascal really hanging on. Perhaps he'll get the draft here in 5th. And he will.
I just like the sound of the Indy cars. It's unique.
It is unique, and credit to ASRA for having a great setup website. Joe, I mentioned it last time I was broadcasting one of these, but I love their website. All the links for downloads were right there when I needed them. Really thankful for all that. And man, I'll tell you what, I even got a sweet press release to us from Roger before this race with a bunch of information to talk about. I mean, it doesn't get much more, broadcast friendly than this, let me tell you.
These guys have done a great job, and we're so thankful for them for having us on board for the whole season. With the 11 races we ended up doing, I believe, here at JTN, I believe it ended up being 11, and we started at 10, ended with 11, so that's always a good thing that the number went up, not down. But they will be back, of course, in the fall for the new season, where they'll have the Cup, the late models, or a short track series. I don't know if they've settled on the mod for there, and then also these Indy cars. So if you want to join the website for both the TMP Racing League or Racing Series as well as the ASRA National Championship, they should both be down there in the video description. If they're not, they'll make their way down there. And you can check them out. They're also always in all their other broadcasts, so you can go check them out. Check out, get familiar with the names, the way these guys drive, so that way if you decide to join because you got to have a wheel, but if you decide to join, you'll already be familiar with the driving styles. Big crash, Herman Reese!
Oh no, and I was watching that. Things were getting dicey up front, and Herman Reese hard into the outside wall.
And no caution.
No caution at all. There were cars coming, but Herman Reese up out of the groove. Officials said, no way, we're keeping it green. Oh my goodness, and what a hard impact that was.
Here's the replay. I'm pretty sure he did a flip and they didn't throw a yellow. Yep, he did. My goodness.
Well, that's unfortunate for Herman Reese. He was leading a good portion of that run, and then contact there sent him into the wall. He's way back now after a hit that fast. He probably has some damage. Up front, it's Ron Milkey in the 60. Tom Pascal's right behind him. Joe won retirement from the race already. It's Steve Rubino in the 34. After leading for a bit, though, Joe showing some strength. Unfortunately, the night ended early for him. Now, that is one car retired. Things can come down to one spot in the points. We learned that on Saturday night, so that could mean a difference for Roger Nebelsack if he's able to stay in this race without his engine going on him. Currently running 13th, last car on track, but you never know.
You never know. He'd have to have a guy between them, though, and another, like a guy like Josh Boyer, who's leading the way right now. But none of our Championship 4 currently up in this lead pack. It's Ron Milkey, Fast Cows, Dan Rubino looking to the inside for second now, and Mojo there in 4th.
Boy, I like that purple and orange car, Joe. Reminds me of Clemson.
Oh, it does it?
Yeah.
You just know what to say to me tonight, man.
I've been doing this for a while here.
You know what car? You know what that 33 car reminds me of?
Cal Poly.
It does.
How about that? Eh? Gotta go for Tom Pascal in this race for those Cal Poly colors. No, there's no bias up in the booth. Only
Never.
A bias for entertainment.
Never bias.
You're
Don't
getting it.
just don't watch that broadcast from Saturday. No bias. Roger Nebelsack still slow. Herman Reese still slow. Oh, with damage, of course. Wade Driscoll's been a little off the pace tonight. There you see him in that 78 car. Maybe just waiting, just hanging around.
Hey, Joe, taking a look back in the second group, it's 3 cars comprised of Josh Boyer at the front, Ricky Bumble behind him, and Richard Fankel, the third car in line. They're in a single file line, and they've been catching this front group. Even though they have one less car, they've been able to stay organized instead of side by side, and that's allowed them to catch. They're chipping away, about 2-3 tenths per lap. Got the gap down to 1.5 seconds. It was about 2.5 a few laps ago.
Yeah, and how are they able to do that, Tommy? I see 4 cars out front, and I see 3 cars here. Wouldn't the 4 cars be better than the 3?
Well, Joe, you would think, but look at how these guys are racing up front, Joe, side by side into the turns. It's not good for their momentum and overall speed. Meanwhile, these guys behind them keeping a nice straight line, everybody in order. That's the way to do it if you want to gain ground on the guys in front of you. At a draft track, I would say.
I feel like these guys probably should have had their own edition of Tommy's World tonight.
Maybe they could have used it. Who knows? I would say it'd be hard to do it with just one car out there, though, Joe, because you just plant the gas and turn left. Maybe I'd have to get some of my buds out there to run with me. Who knows?
Who knows? Apparently, Baylor is hurting on Gonzaga right now. That's not good for you, for your West Coast teams.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I want Gonzaga to win. I mean, I'm glad we're getting the first-time winner no matter what, but I'm rooting for Gonzaga and Adam Morrison's legacy.
Zaga.
Yeah,
the Zags, not the Zogs. Come on.
Is that
Oh
right?
my
Okay.
goodness, it's 23-8.
Oh,
Sorry
no.
for that, but that's bad. Man, if only my Michigan Wolverines could have beat those Bruins from UCLA, because, I think we could have beat the Zags. I'm telling you. All you needed was good defense, and the only reason UCLA beat us is because we couldn't score.
Well, that game may not be close right now, but this race sure is.
Yes,
The
it
second
is.
group has caught the lead pack. Ricky Buffalo getting right into the thick of it with Richard Fenkel and Josh Boyer hanging out in that little kind of cocoon of safety that we've seen him do earlier.
Danny Hardy just put in Danny Hardy tuning in tonight. Welcome, Danny. Got a thumbs up. Enjoying
Got
the
our
show.
first car lap down here, Joe. That's Roger
No!
Neville's
No! Maybe the draft will help him a little bit.
Yeah, we'll really have a test to see if the 51 has anything for this race, if he's going to be able to hold on to this draft or what, because if you can't hold on to the draft, boy, you're really going to be crossing your fingers for something big to happen.
Our 33 car getting on the apron a little bit there in the corners. I've noticed, guys, as the run kind of goes on, they're being a little more aggressive trying to get down to that white line. Is there anything that they can do there to kind of use that white line to help the car turn a little bit better?
You know, at some tracks, Joe, the geometry and the grips and the lines are in such a way that you can hook the bottom just a little bit, like you see in real life at a track like Atlanta, in the NASCAR Cup Series in real life. Some tracks in NR can do that. Others, it's very dangerous. It's like stepping on lava. You know, your car jumps away from it rapidly. Speaking of jumping rapidly, how about Ricky Bumbalo back up to the lead, Joe?
Great moves by the 85 to make his way back up to the front. I feel like last run I was talking about how he was so far off pace, he was so far behind, and now back to the lead here at Michigan.
Yeah, getting the lead with the halfway break. We don't have points like you mentioned for the halfway leader, I don't believe, but nonetheless, it is the 85 of Ricky Bumbalo up there. Now up high as Dan Rubino to the point, and will lead this lap.
And don't look now, Rich Fenkel trying to get to the front. He definitely needs that bonus point for leading the lap here. He's up to second in that number 2 Ford.
Absolutely, and if you could get that, Joe, that would bring the gap back to 4 points, not counting positions on track. And if you did count positions, well, if he was in the leader and Josh Boyer was 5th,
that would definitely be enough. No, because the points breakdown is 50, 40, 35, 32, 30, so
That's right.
It's not point per position, Tommy. I know this is your first time in a while here, so I gotta, again, to the folks at home, too, that might not be familiar.
That's right. That's a good point you bring up there. Shame on me. I'm in NASCAR mode. You're right. And Richard Fenkel did lead that lap, so how about that?
So he'd be the champion by a mile right now. Josh Boyer gonna have to try to get something going. So pretty much, if you win this race, you're the champion, right? That's the easiest scenario, and it's not the case where you have a playoff format. Which, Tommy, I'm not gonna get you to go into that because I think you'd probably
Yeah.
make
That's a special edition podcast.
make the viewers' ears bleed. But Is Mojo going back to the lead here? We're just shuffling the lead right now. It's musical chairs, but you got a fun points format. If you win the race, you're the champion. It doesn't matter where everyone else finishes with the way these guys are so close.
Yeah, that's the safest way, certainly, to lock up that title. And not only would you win the championship, but you'd probably get a cool trophy too, along with that win. And that's always a good thing. I think it's always awkward when someone that isn't the championship winner
wins the race.
Wins. Yeah, because no, I don't think that. What I meant was, I don't know.
You just don't want the champion to be determined by one race.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But in this case, it's not, because we've determined a champion all season long. We have points, and they're this close. They got repointed, but they still got, bonus points for their wins and whatnot. So it's a little more traditional in the sense, right?
It'll do, Joe. It'll do. Back up front, Tom Faskow's now the leader. Like you said, Joe, quite the musical chairs of leaders that we have had. You just got to hope at the end of the race the chair is there for you. And it might become a mad scramble at the finish. California Poppy in the chat writes in, if only the NCAA championship game could be as good as Troy versus DeVry. Joe, have you seen that game?
I have not.
Highest scoring basketball game in NCAA history. Final score was, I believe, 253 to 141 or something along those lines. And it is a trip to watch, let me tell you.
Did they even play defense?
No, they didn't. They just chucked the ball down court and just kind of went back and forth, scoring either shooting threes or layups. And it was a beautiful showcase of basketball. Fast-paced game, almost as fast-paced as this race, Joe. We're on lap 57 of 100 right now.
I was going to say, I think a guy that thought he might have a layup tonight with his points lead was going to be this 41 of Josh Boyer. Really aggressive to pit road. He gets around that 2 car, so moving back into the lead in points, but it hasn't been easy for this 41 tonight. Started on pole, but quickly drifted to the back.
He's been hanging around, and maybe a tenth or two off of the lead packs all night long. Good that he's been able to stay in there and avoid trouble, mostly, but he's going to have to turn it up here eventually before the end of this race.
To see if Tom Musa, I believe, will lead this lap. Could be wrong. Let me update us on that, because that's a very important point right there with that 4 car. Now, Mojo, the first guy up to speed, but these guys coming off pit road right now. It looks like our top 3 will be all formed up down the back straightaway. Ricky Bumbleau, 33 of Fast Cows, and the 60 Ron Milky.
Joe, I don't think that 4 car is going to lead this lap because he's already been a lap down. So points implications there for Tom Musa.
Big sad in the chat. Hashtag blame Tom Musa. The phrase coined by your good buddy Davey Hazard. And you can hear more from Davey Hazard on the Fake Racers podcast weekly here on JTN, as well as your favorite podcasting platforms. You can head over to our Twitter, where you can find links for last week's episode on all those platforms, as well as right here on YouTube. Just go to our YouTube page, and you'll find the playlist with every single copy of the Fake Racers podcast out weekly here on YouTube and your podcasting platform of preference. Your preferential podcast platform. Say that 10 times fast.
Triple P.
Fast for the lead. Fast Cows to the lead. Ron Milky now in second. Ricky Bumbleau in third. Mr. Excitement in that 85, but don't look now. The second pack trying to get formed up, and Josh Boyer's trying to leave that 2 Rich Fankel in the dust further on back.
I'll tell you what, Mr. Excitement, if your nickname is Mr. Excitement, you're doing something right. I'll tell you that much. This group of 3 up front here, Bumbleau actually a lap down.
Oh. How did I miss that? You were letting me talk about how he was the leader, and he's a lap down.
Bumbleau, he might have been caught speeding. We're going to take a little bit of a look here on my end and see what befell Bumbleau.
I was talking about how he was rebounding, and then he's just slow the whole time. What are we doing? That department not working tonight. Well, then if you're Milky and Fast Cow, you're getting pretty annoyed by this 85 being up your race, and you like that then. I remember being raced by a lap car pretty aggressively. Do you want me to tell that story?
Yeah, go for it. What do you got?
It was our good buddy Joseph Weaver, you know, sets up Tommy's World car. We were at Texas World, a super speedway race. And I think he was behind, I don't remember who he was behind. It was probably you and Davey. Y'all are good friends, seems like. That's what we'll go with. He was behind you and Davey. I was in third. He was a lap down. And he's blocking me at a super speedway. He's just blocking me.
That sounds like Joseph Weaver. That guy's a loose canyon. Hey, Joe, I just took a look at Ricky Bumblow. It doesn't look like he had to twice, but he had quite a long pit stop. He just stayed in his pit stop for what seemed like a lifetime. I
had to take a bathroom break.
It could have been that. So, even though he may look like he's second, he is a lap down and in ninth at the moment.
Well, that's what the ticker's there for the folks at home and not for me.
That's right.
Trying to get that lap back the hard way, but that's allowing 44 Dan Rubino, Mojo, and Josh Boyer to kind of close in back on these leaders. And they're bringing along Wade Driscoll, who's lapped down, but also Rich Fenkel in the 2.
Another retirement, Joe, our second of the night. It's Herman Reese in the 59. Not shocked there. His car badly damaged in that incident that surprisingly stayed green after out there in turn 2 a couple laps ago. More than a couple laps ago at this point. Too bad for the 59. He was leading just about at the time, right before the incident. Palmer a lap down on the outside.
And now only 7 cars left on the lead lap.
Bumblow in front of Fast Cows, so it's going to be 8 for the time being, as long as Ricky Bumblow can hold off Fast Cows.
Well, I'm silly. Yeah.
Now Roger Nebelsick there on the inside. That's kind of in the groove these guys have been running. Stays low on the backstretch, though. These guys single file get by him. Bumblow looking low, just trying to stay on that lead lap in case we get a yellow. Fast Cow's right on his tail, as close as he dares.
How close would you dare?
Not very close, not in these cars.
Well, in these cars, too, in the sim, they have like a little box around them, right? So it's not like the contact's exact with those wings, but it definitely feels exact when you get the rear tires jacked up because you're on the nose of another driver.
Yeah, not to mention the internet connection issues
Woo!
that may happen because we're racing on the internet, not in real life, so you never know what can happen.
What's the internet?
Back and forth there from Tom Pascal's. Looking to the inside on Bumblow. Oh man, they're getting close.
Trying to put this 85 car back a lap down. He's facing a stiff challenge from the 44 Mother's machine of Dan Rubino. Mother's a big sponsor of F1 in America, right? Aren't they the official, like, because their races are on ESPN or something, so that way they're commercial free?
Yes.
Or,
man, those are terrific podcasts, I must say.
Almost
Bumblow
as good as these, though. Almost as good.
Bumblow
Never
surrendering that lead lap spot there. Will fall a lap down now.
And right now, I know we're watching this battle for the lead, but I'm watching the battle for the championship. Right now, Rich Fenkel out, got back around the 41 of Josh Boyer, but that's only one spot. That is, what is that? Fenkel right now in 5th with Boyer in 6th. That's only 2 points. Boyer would still have the position, but now Fenkel goes by the 21, gonna go by the 33 and completely make that last statement a wash and move into the championship lead.
Things can change so rapidly. And Joe, the points picture, I mean, you never know what can happen. We're just going to come up on 30 laps to go this time by, so time's ticking. And if you're Josh Boyer right now, you're hanging back there, you're doing well. But sooner or later, Joe, when we get into the final 20 or so laps of this race, that's going to be crunch time. And I think we might see that 41 car start moving towards the front. Right about then, maybe a little bit after, but you don't want to wait too late and miss your opportunity.
When an opportunity comes knocking, you got to answer the door. And he's going to have to answer the door eventually.
Meanwhile, Bumblow in front of this group once again. So for the time being, he's back on the lead lap. our leader, Ron Milkey, in the 60 behind him.
Bumble's just having fun tonight.
He sure is.
He's just having fun with these guys.
Nobody told him that he was a lap down.
He's leading. Hey, get some more TV time for that Gas Monkey Garage sponsor. Although I don't think they need TV time. They have their own TV show for a while. Got plenty of TV time.
Buffalo all the way to the bottom in front of Fast Cows. And there's Dan Rubino in the 44 coming back into the fray. Haven't seen him too much since he was side by side with Steve earlier on in this race. But he's found himself in second right now behind Tom Fastcow, who took the lead just a lap ago.
Well, folks, make sure if you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe to us here on JTN, the Johto Network. We'd appreciate it so much. Up to 12 likes on the video. We can get to 20, though. I know we can get to 20. Is that too high of a goal, Tommy? I don't think it is.
I don't think so. That's not much to ask.
We got the best fans in all of sim racing. So if they can't get us to 20, I don't know. I don't know what I'd say. I don't want to say it.
The gauntlet has been thrown down.
Coming up on some more lap traffic, Rod West and Tom Musa. Those two. Musa a lap down. Weston, I believe, the last car on the lead lap.
At this point, it's still Bumbalo and
Well,
Wade Driscoll. First car lap down. Looks like Musa might be more than one. In fact, Joe, yes.
He's going to be two.
He's going to be 2 laps down.
And we didn't even think the contact with that 4 earlier in the race was that bad.
We didn't think so. I was hoping it wouldn't be, but it turns out it was. And now he's, boy, he's going to need a miracle to win the championship now.
Well, we've seen miracles. We saw a miracle this last weekend in the USORL Cup, Red Bull Cup Series race here at Michigan, where Sean Whitehill had the Hail Mary answered to win on fuel mileage. To lock his way into the playoffs over there, but right now, that's 2 laps is a little bit much, though. 2 laps is probably a little too much to ask for.
Especially when you have guys like Wade Driscoll in front of you who are only 1 lap down now, and well, Joe, that's going to be a hard position to be in to make up those laps, especially with this little time left in the race. Just 25 laps to go. Make it 24 this time across the stripe.
Rich Fenkel back up to 3rd. Dan Rubino back out front. He's got Ron Milkey behind him. Gotta watch that 60 and 30. Oh, a little bit of contact there. 2 cars sent back up the track. Little bit of scuffing of the wheels there between him and the 33 car. So move Rich on back, and that's going to lead Josh Boyer back into the lead of the points.
Boy, and I am shocked that they all hung on to it, Joe. You mentioned how high of speeds these guys are running. Any little contact, ding, dent, or bang can end your night. And the fact that they were all able to hold on to it in the middle of the turn, no less, really skillful driving there from these drivers. But like you mentioned, for Richard Fenkel now, that championship advantage he had a couple laps ago, gone.
Gone. Blink of an eye. You watched that documentary?
I have not.
You got to.
But it made me too sad.
Yeah, well, it's good. So. Bam. The book's good too. If you like reading, the book's good. You know who's been good tonight, though? It's this 44 car, Dan Rubino, out front right now, leading the way. Just under 25 laps to go. Again, the 33 tight in the center makes a little bit of contact with the 2.
Boy, that was really close that time, Joe. I was catching my breath. I was catching my breath after that one. I mean, that was a scary moment for our championship 4 right there. Richard Fenkel on the outside. He's probably not in the place he wants to be. Can't seem to get to the bottom.
And he keeps falling back.
Yeah, he's getting closer and closer to Josh Boyer. He's still hanging out in that spot we've seen him all night long, just towards the tail of this lead group.
And if you're Rich in that 2 car, you just hear the Jaws music playing behind you as that 41 starts to close the gap. Dun-dun, 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 and then all of a sudden he snatches you.
Don't get us copyrighted. Not like I just played Bob Seger the other night.
Copyright on 2 videos too. I had to sell my soul for 2 videos. Oh, that's the contact.
No problems. Huge contact.
Dan Rubino up and over into the fence. That's gonna be our 4th yellow of the night.
Oh my goodness, Joe. And this changes everything. Pace car lights are on. Here he comes out onto the racing surface. My goodness, what a spin, what a hit for that 44.
Here's the replay. Just 2 guys going for the same ground, don't you think?
It seems to be like it, Joe. We're getting later and later into this race. It's crunch time. Got to get all the spots you can. Set yourself up for a good finish. And unfortunately, right there, just 2 guys going for it. And unfortunately for the other Rubino brother, not a good night for him either.
No, and I think that one might be a race ender because there's a lot of damage on the front end. You can even see that wing on the driver's side really bent in. The NOS Energy Drink visor cam. Oof. Big time contact.
Watching that hit, it's just such a hard hit into that wall. Good thing we got safer barriers out there.
Hey, good thing. Bunch of cars down on pit road right now. Look at the green light animation on pit lane 2. Just a little box.
Oh my goodness. Boy, you don't see that every day. Is that the American ethanol flag or something like that?
It must be. There must be a little like robot arm that waves it back and forth. Well, hey, there's the race off pit road. Fast Cow's going to be first out. Josh Boyer, Mojo, Ron Milkey, Rich Fankel, Ricky Bumbleau, and Dan Rubino, John Palmer right now down on pit road. Well, this shakes everything up, huh?
Absolutely, and I think we're going to get some wave rounds here. Maybe.
They got a pit. They got a pit.
You think so?
Yeah, there they
Looks like
come.
they are. Well, I was going to say we might have 10 cars or 9 cars in the lead lap, but throw that out the window. We have 7 currently, going back to Rod Weston in the 19. Although I'll tell you what, he's on pit road right now, so with the 44 of Dan Rubino in an incident, we might only have 5 left on the lead lap.
Oh my
that could have
goodness.
huge championship implications.
Well, it makes it a lot harder for the 2-car Rich Fankel to make up that gap because that's a lot less positions. Now Josh Boyer with track position, you got to think that 41-car driver is being told now is the time to go from the pit box.
Yeah, no kidding, Joe, but I'll tell you what, that 2-car, he's done it before. He's been in these must-win situations, must-perform well situations. He's pulled it off before. It's just the time to win a championship.
There's just something about that 2 number.
Yep.
Something about that number.
Especially in Michigan.
Let me tell you. A couple times.
Has Brad ever won at Michigan?
No. Not in the Cup Series. Very sad.
Yeah, he's got it.
Although when he won the pole there a couple years ago, when they still did qualifying like they should.
Right.
Oh my gosh, loudest the place has ever been.
I would imagine.
It was great. I like qualifying. They need to bring it back. They better bring it back.
I agree with you on that one for sure.
And practice. Bring it back.
Don't need like 6 hours of practice. Wouldn't mind a session or 2.
Yeah, 2 sessions. Give me 2 hours of practice.
That'll be okay with me. Pace car lights are off this time. We will be going back green with just 15 to go.
Woo. I like that number.
We are going to have at least Rod Weston on the lead lap. He will be the lucky dog this time.
Hey.
And the 44 of Dan Rubino on the lead lap still. That car is probably pretty damaged, but you never know.
You never know if you don't go.
You'll never shine if you don't glow.
I like how you like to put that in the little official voice. We got our little broadcaster voices going. Big old Speedway signs here. The convenience stores of Speedway. Bow.
You know, believe it or not, I actually have a Speedway by me. I feel like we don't have a lot of like different brands like that. But yeah, we do. Pace car going down to pit road.
Get
This
ready.
could be our last restart of the race, Joe.
It could be. Tom Fascals leads him back to green. Big jump on Josh Boyer. Green flag back in the air at Michigan.
Good start for him, but you don't want to get too far in the lead there, Joe. These guys might drop back up and catch you. Let's see how he does. Josh Boyer in second place. It's the highest we've seen him all night since the start.
Getting a good run now down the back straightaway. Boyer trying to gain some time on Fascals. Fascals tries to break the draft a little bit. Not enough. Boyer looking to the inside down into turn 3. Woo, and the 33 cuts him off on the entry, Tommy.
That's dicey. That's real dicey, and it's a dicey place in the track to do that. But man, that Fascal, he wants to win.
Well, and you know Josh Boyer back there. He's not going to take a risk. He's probably going to let off right now. He's got a bigger prize out there to try and win the championship for the ASRA National Championship, as well as the combined overall title.
Yeah, you'd love to win the race, but the championship is more important. Got to race smart. Richard Fenkel's back up there, though. Right now looking to move past into 4th. And he does.
Now he's going to be looking to the inside of Boyer. Remember, that's about 2 points for that position, so that closes the gap for the title and also puts the 2 car in a better position to make up even more points if he can get up into second.
Boy, it's going to be really close. We've seen some close championship finishes here before on JTN. We might be brewing up another one tonight. Just about 13 laps to go. It's going to be 12 the next time by.
Title gap right now for the ASRA, that top number is 1 between the 2 and the 41, and it's 2 for the overall. So if Rich Fenkel can just get by this 6-year Ron Milkey, he would move into the catbird seat for the title. Right now, those 2 teammates, though, out front, the 33 and the 60, working well together. Rich trying to find a way on the bottom. They're snaking their way down the back straightaway more and more every time, Tommy.
They sure are. It's you know, that Fenkel, he's looking on the inside again. Oh, man, they almost touched. I think they might have. But Fenkel's got some position on them. Going down into 1. Boyer's going to try and follow him, too.
Yeah, but remember, the gap from second to third, I believe it's 5 points. Or it's 3. Hold on, let's look. It's 5, so that would be enough for Fenkel to win the title, and you know what would be enough to win the title? Go into the lead, move that 2 car up to the top spot.
Well, that'd be huge. Here it is, Joe. Our championship 4, 2 of them right now sitting 1 and 2. Richard Fenkel in this spot with just 10 laps to go would be the champion. That's right. It's our TWB 10 laps to go. From porches, patios, and more for all your outdoor lighting needs, visit GardenLightsDirect.com on behalf of TWB. GardenLightsDirect.com for all your outdoor lighting needs. Visit GARDNLIGHTS.com. That's your TWB 10 to go. And this championship show is coming down to the wire.
It's coming down to the wire now. Fast cows to the inside of Boyer for second. Boyer going to go back a couple spots here. He's got to be hoping that there's enough time to make the ground back up, because I believe that 41's going to go back to 4th, as now the 33 and 60 trying to work together to get it by the 2. 33 clips the apron on entry, sends him back up the track.
Boy, Boyer was way up high in that front straightaway, maybe trying to reset, regroup. I mean, at this point, he has to finish in front of Fenkel because Fenkel's running in the lead. He doesn't have another option at this point. Looks like he's going to take back 3rd position for now, but he's still going to need 2 more to get to the lead.
Gonna need 2 more spots to get back to the lead, and right now that gap is getting a little less manageable. The more laps that tick away, the harder it's going to be to make these passes. You got to get them done now, and Rich Fenkel doing a great job out front, holding these cats off. He's got a hungry Tom Fascals behind him right now in that School Bandit.
Fenkel made some aggressive moves on the inside line to get his way to the lead. I wouldn't expect anything less than him to defend as hard as he can. It's not just a race win at stake, it's the championship as well.
So it's like watching, you know, 2 fencing duelists. whipping their, I don't know. There was a metaphor there and it sailed over my head, but
Their foils?
yes. It's like two gunmen out west dueling in the desert. Instead, we're dueling in the 40-degree weather of Michigan right now. It's just 6 laps to go this time at the line.
That's right, the famed desert in the Irish Hills of Michigan.
There are a couple little western towns set up. It's kind of cool.
That's quite fun. We'll have to visit them after the race, but first we got to decide champion. 6 laps to go. On the back straightaway, Boyer following Fast Cow's Fenkel, defending that inside as much as he can, making sure nobody can get a fender, or I suppose in this case a front wing, underneath him.
Well, and if you're Boyer, are you maybe hoping for a little bit of contact between these top two? I mean, maybe not how you'd want to win, but I mean, I would take it.
I'd take it any way I can. Certainly, it's a little bump out of the way. These Indy cars can be a lot more than just a bump too, though. So you got to be careful depending on where that car ends up. But right now, with just 5 to go, Fenkel guarding that inside line, and Boyer might start to be trying that outside, at least on the backstretch he did there.
I think he's trying to get a little bit of a run going here for this next lap to try to make a charge at this 33 of Fast Cows. But right now, Rich Fenkel doing a good job out in the lead. We haven't seen it all night long. A guy that has the lead able to maintain it for very long, and he's doing a great job right now. Again, in a must-win situation for the second week in a row here in the TMP ASRA Combined Championship.
Oh, looks like Boyer's got an inside track on Fast Cows. He's going to take away second place, and it's mono for the championship right here, Joe. Boyer right behind Fenkel. Oh, man, that was a late move down low, but he had to.
I think he had plenty of room there, Tommy. Spotter called him clear. Come on, we're not on the radio. These viewers at home, they know when we're BSing them. Just 3 laps to go.
Time is winding down. We've seen Josh Boyer kind of hang out, run this race conservatively for the first 90%, but now at the end when it matters, he's got to give it all he's got. And Richard Fenkel leading the way. He too has kind of been back there at the edge of the top 5 all night long, but now the cream has risen to the top. It's a 1-2 battle for the race win and championship. Richard Fenkel leads Josh Boyer, and it is a close one, Joe.
Just now under 2 laps to go here at Michigan as we're coming down the back straightaway. Fenkel again going to the bottom, trying to break the draft off of turn number 2. Boyer continuing to try to find a way around this 2 car. He's going to have to try to get a run down the front straightaway. It really looks like that 2 car's tightening up right here off of turn 4. He keeps it down low on the apron, coming to the white flag.
And Fast Cows is now looking to the inside of Boyer. Boyer's not going to like that.
Boyer sends it down. He had to. He sent it down into turns 1 and 2, trying to get around that 33. Roger Nebelsick now on the outside. Lap down car is going to kind of shorten up this back straightaway, or narrow it up, rather. Rich Fenkel, Josh Boyer, 1-2 coming into turn 3 for the final time. Boyer trying to find his way around Fenkel. He's to the bottom, Tommy. He's to the bottom, coming to the line.
It's going to be close side by side. Give it to Fenkel. He's done it. He's won the race and the championship.
What a finish.
Richard Fenkel in that 2. How about it? He didn't finish number 2 today. He finished number 1. And how about that number 2?
Something about it.
Last couple broadcasts here on JTN of Michigan. It's run pretty good.
Something about that number 2. Rich Fenkel winning that Sirius XM number 2 Ford here at the Michigan International Speedway. And winning 2 championships. He's taking home 3 trophies tonight, Tommy.
How about that? I mean, that is quite impressive. There he goes to the start and finish line to burn it down as best you can in IndyCar. Always going to do a backwards lap. Kowicki style.
Waving to the fans. You like that, huh?
I love it, Joe.
All the fans on their feet waving. Mr. Rich Fenkel after winning the race, winning the championship. 2 championships in 1 night here at Michigan.
That's impressive. Kyle Busch couldn't do that even.
No, he couldn't.
I don't think. Well, certainly not with the way their points work. But Richard Fenkel can, and he did.
brings it into victory lane, and we'll be talking with him in just a second, like we will talk with our top 3 drivers after tonight's race. Move on to our post-race coverage. We'll get you those results on the screen in just a second. Wait for our top 3 to come on down into the media center. But what a finish, Tommy. I mean, that race had it all. A lot of passes for the lead, really competitive cars, guys able to go from the back to the front. And in the end, we had our points leader and the guy that looked like he was the farthest back had the least likely shot to win the championship, dueling it out for the victory.
Yeah, you couldn't have set it up any better, Joe. I mean, to have a one-on-one dogfight at the end, both of those guys trying everything they can. It was extremely entertaining up here in the booth. I just hope everyone at home enjoyed as well.
I have a feeling they did. And if you did enjoy the video, make sure you hit that like button and also subscribe to us here at JTN for more of this awesome racing content you can only find on JTN, exclusive home to the TMP Racing Series as well as the ASRA and the USORL Cup Series right now. But a bunch of great racing action all live here on JTN. It looks like we got, for the first time in a while, we got our champion, and then also our race winner first, because he pretty much he's got to do 3 interviews here. Rich Fankel, driver number 2. Rich, buddy, what's up? What a victory! What a race!
Hey guys, yeah, I don't know what to say after that. That was tough, but I'm overly excited to say the least.
Well, Rich, you had a great run tonight. We saw you towards the back. Was that just a strategy? Early on, you were towards the back. Was that just a strategy of kind of waiting for, some of the wrecks that we saw to happen, kind of let things simmer down? Just try to stay out of trouble, knowing you again came into tonight kind of in a situation where it was really looking like you were going to have to win?
Thank you.
Well, the 2 car was pretty good from the beginning. Didn't qualify as well as I wanted to. Hats off to Tom and Roger for putting together the group qualifying. That was awesome. But yeah, I started out thinking, lay back, let things, let nature take its course, so to speak. And then I just kind of lost the draft, and it was very, very important to be with a car or more than one car, because I could get behind the 78 and we could run steady, but we couldn't catch anybody. But when we get 3 cars in a row, you could catch the group in front of us. So it was kind of by design, Joel, but I just kind of took what I was given at the time, and I didn't want to push it because I knew I had a lot of laps left, and I wanted to make sure I was there at the end.
Now let's talk about that end, because for the first time all night, it really looked like the guy that was out front, when you were out front, you were able to kind of command the race. What were you doing there at the end? Kind of maybe special, maybe something you didn't do earlier on in the night when you were in the lead, to kind of hold that lead for what was pretty much those last 15 laps?
I don't know, Joel. I really wish I could tell you.
You wish you could tell me, or you don't want to tell me? I mean, I'm not asking you to give any secrets up, but...
I think it came down to I was behind those guys long enough. I was watching what they were doing, and I just had to wait for the right time for them to make a mistake. And as soon as they would make that little bit of mistake and I got a nose underneath them, I was good. And once I got to the lead, I just stayed on the bottom. And I wasn't running the apron in the front stretch the whole race until the last 15, because that's where everybody was getting that extra run and would want to pass you. And I wasn't going to let anybody get underneath me at that point. And Boyer had a great run. Cow raced me clean. It was fun. It was a really fun race racing with these guys, and the whole season's been that way.
It's been a great season. It's been so fun to follow along. One last question. When you saw that 41 car coming to the checkered flag on the inside, he had a huge run. Were you just at that point like, all right, I guess if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't? Or what? Were you scared? What were the emotions like then?
Well, that's been the whole season, watching the 41 car pretty much. And I wasn't really scared. And I was like, kind of like you said, if he passes me, he passes me. I wasn't going to block anybody. I wasn't going to do anything stupid. We're ultimately, we're here to have fun with all the craziness that's going on around us in the world today. If we can take time out to enjoy racing with all of our friends and have a great time. That's what it's all about. So whether I win anything or I finish second or dead last, it doesn't matter. As long as we have fun, it's just an added bonus to come away with the win. And if Josh Boyer would have won it, I'd be just as happy for him as I am for myself.
Well, I love to hear that. I always like the community you guys have going here in the ASRA and TMP. But Rich, before we let you go, I know you got 2 championships to celebrate, a race win to celebrate. Floor is yours. Thank the sponsors, fans, whatever you got to do, buddy. Time is yours.
All right. First of all, I'd like to thank you guys at JTN for putting this on all year. Look forward to next year and maybe a little bit over the summer. We got some things coming up. Got to thank the sponsors that have been on board all year for all 3 series, Wright Engineering, Sirius XM, Blue October, Up Down Records, Ford Motor Company over here in the IndyCar, and Dodge and Mopar over on the other side. Got to thank all the guys that show up every week and have a good time with us, and through thick and thin, whether we have our little bickering here or there, ultimately, we have a good time and we're all friends. And Roger, Tom, for putting this on, and I think this has grown from just a small thing that 2 separate groups used to do into one big thing, and I'm proud to be part of it, and looking forward to good things to come. And thanks to all the fans out there. Hope we put on a good race for you. I'm looking forward to going back and rewatching it. That was kind of a nail biter there. My hands were kind of still glued to the steering wheel here, so I need to go relax, I think.
Well, Rich, you go do that. Go celebrate these championships. Congratulations on a great way to obviously end the season with the Cup Championship last week, now the IndyCar, as well as the overall. Rich Fankel, driver number 2. Congratulations, buddy.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Now we move from our winner down to our second place finisher, Josh Boyer, driver number 41. Josh, I'm gonna ask you a question. Is there anything else you could have done there at the end?
I don't know. The only thing I could have done was try to lay back a little further and try and get a better run on Rich. But I knew as soon as I started to lay back, then the 33 would get under me and try and pass me, and then I'd be totally up the creek. So I don't know if I could have done anything different with the situation as we had it. So just came up that much short tonight.
And it was something similar too. I mean, you talked laying back a little bit more, but you did the same thing in qualifying. And throughout the race, I think we kind of saw you taking this approach, a little more of a conservative approach, kind of just waiting things out. We saw when the guys were going 2 wide, 6 deep. You just kind of like laid back a couple tenths, maybe half a second. Were you when did you know to flip the switch in the race? Was it that last caution? What was your plan? Because you obviously flipped the switch there at the end, trying to go get this victory tonight.
Yeah, definitely. That was the plan. Really, in qualifying, in testing, I kind of figured out that you needed to lay back a little bit and get that run to get that best speed in qualifying. And I kind of took that into the race too, more just to make sure I was there at the end of the race. I didn't want to get involved in somebody else's skirmish. And so, as you saw, most of the race, I just laid back there about half a second behind the pack, knowing that I was close enough to stay in the draft and stay close to that group, especially if we needed green flag pit stops and whatnot. So after that last caution, it fell right in a good place because we were all right about ready for a green flag pit stop. So at that point, it was all go, give it all I could get and get in position there. I did everything I could. Just a great race and a great finish.
Great race and a great finish and a great season for you in the 41 team. You won the late model championship 2 weeks ago. You had a great night tonight. You came in with you got all these wins, all these accomplishments this year. A great season. And what goes into building, what goes into having such a great season for the fans at home that maybe some, because we have a lot of younger viewers that maybe they haven't dipped their toes completely into sim racing. What goes into having the success that Josh Boyer has?
I think a lot of it you saw tonight is just knowing when to push yourself and when not to. There's tracks and places where I didn't feel I was as strong or wasn't comfortable running as hard, and I just kind of rode out those races and still try to have a good top 3 finish. I've been fortunate to talk to you guys a lot this season. A lot of it's just from being consistently in the top 3. Just being being cognizant of that and knowing where to run hard. And that really helped me out throughout the season, just trying to be consistent, I think.
Hey, I think that consistency is key, right? That's what everyone always likes to say. And you had that great consistency, and whether it be checkered flags, podium finishes. Came up to one position short tonight, but still obviously added that late model championship to your resume. A bunch of wins, Josh. Before we let you go, you know the drill. You said as much. You know the drill. Thank all the sponsors, all the family, whoever you got to talk to. Shout out. Floor is yours, buddy.
Yeah, thanks. First off, Rich, great championship. Congratulations to him. I don't know if I'm as happy for he won it as if I would have won it, unlike maybe what he said there. But still, a great championship for Rich and all the guys here. We had a great season this year, a relatively long season, and it ended up being really fun how this all panned out with the chase kind of format we had, and the group qualifying tonight was really interesting and different. So thanks to the TMP guys, all these guys that run this league with Tom and Roger and the gang, putting together a good group of guys, and that's key. And I think Rich hit on this too, that we're here to have fun and enjoy ourselves and to get away from what's going on in the world sometimes. And it's a good place to do it. We try and keep things light and fun, and we don't get all bent out of shape. If somebody gets into you, we have a few issues tonight, and everybody will move on from that, and we'll have fun next race. So great group of guys. So thanks to everybody in this league for putting on a good show all year long. Thanks to JTN, of course, for broadcasting us. I don't know, what do you guys do, about a dozen races? I felt like this year it's been a lot.
Yeah.
So thanks to you guys for doing that, and hopefully that we can keep the momentum going forward here in the next season. Maybe get a few more guys in here to help the product out, and just keep things on the right track with that. Thanks to Top Golf and Rocky and all the sponsors on our car in all the different leagues or different series here. And thanks everybody, and we'll see you next season.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Josh. Thank you so much for taking the time with us after this race, and congratulations again on a great season, great points finish in all the series, and good luck with these summer series. It looks like they're going to be a lot of fun here. And like you said, if you're looking for a league, don't look no further. You can check out the link in the description below to contact Tom and Roger and all the guys at TMP about how to race on Facebook. Got to have a wheel. I'll start with that. You got to have a wheel, but a great group of guys to come race with. Josh, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us.
All right, thanks, guys. Take care.
Josh Boyer, driving number 41 Top Golf Chevrolet tonight. Now we move on to our third place finisher, Mr. Fast Cow. You got a copy down there?
I sure do.
Hey, I feel like I haven't talked to you in a while. What was it?
It was because I've been gone for 2 months.
Well, let's start there. How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Good. I gotta feel good tonight. Led the most laps. Usually when I say that, guys say, yeah, but I didn't lead the most important one. But leading the most laps here at Michigan, that had to be a struggle tonight with the way that the lead just kind of kept shifting throughout the race.
Well, actually, I was just learning, passing maneuvers the whole race, just trying to get it perfect. And honestly, if it wasn't for Josh and Rich being in the final race there, I would have raced him harder. But I was just trying to look for a mistake, is all I was looking for.
Hey, but that guy in that 2-car, man, he didn't make any mistakes at the end. There was one time, though, I think he might have left the gap a little bit more open, going down into one of the corners, and he might have shut you off there. Were you cognizant tonight about the guys running for the championship, making sure you didn't do something silly to get into them, or were you just all full bore, I want to win this race for my team, for my guys, since I've been away for a while?
Okay, so when he crossed back in front of me, I did have a little bit on him, but then I was reminded that he was a championship leader, so then I just backed off another 2 or 3 feet behind him, and
little voice in his head.
Yeah, that one right there. First he called me a dog, then he called me a cow. But yeah, I'm telling you, after 8 weeks of being off, it was great being able to race with these guys, and I was so happy. I was competitive and racing. Actually, the 2 champs, either one could have done it, and I was right there with them, and I was just feeling great about it. And the whole race was so fun. I had great fun with Ricky.
I was going to say, you in the 85, Ricky Bumbalo, he was down a lap or so, and he was still racing with you guys. Is that frustrating, or is it just you're having fun? Like, because because Tommy and I were talking, and we're like, oh, that could be so frustrating. I told a little, story about how I got raced by a lap car, and I didn't like it. But how were you feeling racing with a guy that was lap down, kind of fighting for his life there, stay on the lead lap?
Well, actually, he was doing me a favor because he kept my speed up. The draft was very important, and I learned a few things running with him on how to pass. So it was all good, and we passed each other. I knew he was a lap down, but I let him go in front of me for the most part because there was a caution. Then he could come back around. He was no threat to anybody. So, but I just passed him once in a while just because I could and because I wanted to learn how to do it smoothly.
Hey, you made all those smooth passes tonight, led the most laps, third place finish. Before we let you go, it's Tom, right? It's Tom Fast Cow. Is that...
Yes, exactly.
Okay. I always feel bad, but I don't. I'm gonna call you Mr. Cow. Mr. Fast Cow. I think that's more fun. More fun for the viewers at home. But Mr. Fast Cow, before we let you go again, congratulations on third place finish. As you're up here, you're in the media center while we're doing these interviews, and you know the drill too. You won at Nashville earlier this year with the Cup cars. Floor is yours. Thank all the fans, sponsors, whoever you want. Floor is yours, buddy.
All right. Well, first of all, I want to apologize to the 41 and 2 if I got in the way of them at all, but. Again, Tom and you, of course, with the broadcast, I hope we get more and more, followers on your JTN. And of course, Rich makes all these cars for us on the TMP side and a few others. And of course, Tom is the number cruncher, the button pusher, and he's doing it the whole race. He's doing it after the race. He's crunching numbers. He's the hardest working guy in this bunch.
Hey, I couldn't have said it better myself. And you heard the man. He wants more support. So if you haven't already, hit that like button. And if you haven't already subscribed, Mr. Tom Fast Cow said you need to do it. So just do it. His name's Fast Cow. He's literally a fast cow. Well, have you ever seen that before? No, you haven't. You can only see it here on JTN. Tom, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us after the race. Congratulations on the great finish. A good welcome back race. I'm sure this is a lot of momentum for you guys, and you're going to be looking to push that next season. Again, congratulations, buddy.
That's right. Just do it.
Tom Fast Cow, driver number 33, Skull Bandit here tonight. All right. Now, we talked with our top two in the championship. We talked with our third place finisher, Tommy. But I think we still have two guys that are probably really disappointed that we have to talk to real quick.
Yeah, the unfortunate side of every championship battle. There may be 4 that go into this, but there are 3 who don't walk away with the championship trophy. Joe, we have, we've got 2 of them here tonight.
So let's start with the guy that finished ahead of the other guy. Let's start with Tom Musa. Tom, you there? You got the headset on?
I am.
Is it still goes on the ears, even though you probably got smoke billowing out of them?
No, it's not bad at all. We had a great time. I mean, we were racing them back.
Yeah. Well, it was a great season for you in the 4 team. What happened there that caused that incident early on in the race, if you even remember?
Yeah, I don't know if Kyle slid up or what happened, but that put me on the wall, and it slowed me down a little, but I still, in the draft, I just couldn't keep up with them. I don't know what it was.
And it was moderate damage, too, so that's kind of peculiar.
Yeah, it was a side hit, so it wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
It never turned the engine off, so... And I don't know if I was just laying back and not taking the chances I should have, but I got loose a couple times on restarts, and that kind of scared me, and I wanted to finish the race, so...
Hey, you still finished the race, only finished 2 laps down with a car that looked a lot worse than what it sounds like. But let's talk about the adminning side, because this was a really unique points format that you guys kind of undertook this year with the 3 series, and you had the separate championships. Anytime we've talked with anyone, they've thanked you, they've thanked Roger. Just talk about when you want to build something like this, when you want to build something strong, how good does that feel when these guys are just so thankful week in and week out, kind of showing you appreciation for all the work you do?
It's great. I mean, we came up with this idea probably early August last year when we were done doing the IndyCar summer stuff with Roger, and Roger said, yeah, let's try this. And we came up with the format, and it seemed to work out. We got a bunch of guys from Hobo to come over, and if we could get up to 20 guys for next season, starting in September, we'd like to hold a solid 20 for all year. And then hopefully everything will work out much better. Next year, wins will be more important than points to get into the chase. It's going to be a win to get in.
Well, and talk about that. If guys want to sign up, if there's maybe people checking us out for the first time tonight, or maybe they've kind of followed along all season, they want to find out more about how to get involved, how can they do so?
Just get our Facebook page and send us an instant message. We'll get back to you shortly. And either me or Roger or Rich will take care of it, and we'll get you signed up for next year. It's going to be basically the same format. We're going to move some tracks around, but we'll probably use the same 3 series.
Well, you hear that, folks. That's all it is. It's a couple clicks away just to message the TMP Race and Series Facebook page. Tom, before we let you go, I know a disappointing end to a good season for you and the 4 team. So want to make sure you get the chance to thank all the sponsors on the car, all the family. You know the drill. The floor is yours.
Yeah, I'd like to thank the wife for letting me do this every night. I'm sure she doesn't miss me. But yeah, all my sponsors on the cars, Rich for painting the cars, Roger for helping with the IndyCar stuff and the point system, and doing all the promo stuff. He is an awesome promo guy. So other than that, MMF for sponsoring the Cup stuff, and I'm not sure who did the late model.
RV Solar was the sponsor of the late models, Tom.
Okay, there you go. And also thanks Steve and Herman for joining us tonight. Unfortunately, they didn't make it to the end, but thanks for those guys for showing up.
Thanks to all the drivers for showing up. Tom, thank you so much for taking the time after. I know it's disappointing. I know you got to get that car up on the hauler and hightail it out of here because I'm pretty sure you're a little sick of Michigan right now after the way tonight's race went.
It's not that bad.
Yeah, well, it's 40 degrees. It's a little chilly here. I mean, it's going to be 80 tomorrow here. It's like,
there you go.
Like, whoo, little night and day. But thanks for taking the time with us after the race, Tom.
You bet. Thanks, guys, for doing the whole season with us, and we'll definitely see you in September.
I can't wait for it, folks. That's why you got to make sure you're following our Facebook and Twitter, because then you know when these things happen. Let's turn our attention to our final of our Championship 4. Had a night that went off the rails really early. Roger Nebelsack. Roger, oh my goodness, I don't know. I don't know what could have went different.
Yeah, it happened so fast that I had no time. I had no chance, basically. So it is what it is. Just got up close to the wall. Got a little bit. I think it was a little bit of wall glue, and burped the throttle. And there was a red car behind me. Had nowhere to go. And next thing I know, I was looking at the asphalt.
That's not fun, especially in IndyCar. I mean, I guess you got the wind. What is it? Is it just the windscreen, or what do they call it?
Yeah, windscreen. Yeah, aero screen.
Aero
screen. Yeah,
that's it. You at least got that little extra safety, but that's got to be scary going. I mean, I was talking with you all week. You were really excited because we did the qualifying tonight. I mean, let's start with that. How fun was the qualifying tonight? Because it was fun on TV.
Oh, good. That was what I was hoping. If it was like kind of that made-for-TV type deal, but yeah, I think the guys liked it. It went off without a hitch. I had fun with it, and at least in my qualifying session, I saw them kind of spreading out, fighting. I was like, oh, you know what? They're going to go slower, so I'm going to back up a little bit, see if I can get a run on them. And sure enough, that doing that, got me P2. So that was fun. I know this is being Michigan, being the super speedway type of thing. The game for that is going to be a lot different than, say, maybe Gateway if we do it on the short ovals and the road courses for sure, because then the times aren't going to be so draft dependent. So I think it was a good first test run. I hope you guys enjoyed it, because I figured live TV, you guys are sitting here talking while we're qualifying and we're staring at an empty track, so let's try something different.
But it was definitely something different. It was something cool to watch. We talked about the early race wreck, but let's talk about the season you had. How many wins was it on the season? I mean, it seemed like it was a lot later in the season. I mean, you got the Laguna Seca, right? You won at Gateway. Mm-hmm. You won the Richmond late model race. What am I forgetting? Those were all on JTN.
Yes, and then I wound up winning the postponed
Raceway
right. Park race. Mm-hmm.
So you just brought your best stuff to the races that we were going to broadcast, is what it was.
Something like that, right?
Hey, it's not bad for the sponsors. But...
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and you know what? If we go all the way back, remember the first race of the season in Atlanta that we broadcast? It was me and Tom to the finish. He won by, what, 10th, 100th of a second, something like that. It was close.
Hey, like, hey, good TV cars. I don't know what to say. That's good.
Absolutely.
As a team owner, that's really good marketing. I did that this past weekend at USRL, and bada bing, bada boom, it worked out. But Roger, a great season. You got a great group of guys here. You do a great job. I don't know if Tommy wants to say anything because he's always blown away by the way that the website you have set up for the ASRA is, and we appreciate all the press readings. I just wanted to make sure we said thank you for those one more time, just because they're awesome and you do such a great job with getting everything done here. But
yeah, no problem. Tommy, I will apologize to you though a little bit because I haven't posted a story on the ASRA page since Indianapolis, just because I got a little bit burnt out, a little bit overwhelmed because the workload for preparing for the all 3 series with Tom got to be a lot, and I just started putting it off. The next thing I know, I was like, oh crap, that was back in November.
Well, we do really appreciate all the work you do put in. I do love the website, and especially those press briefings that we got from you for this broadcast. They were so awesome, so detailed. Thank you so much for those. I mean, especially coming off the bench to broadcast these, not as often as say Davey or Ricky. Great to have the information, and yeah, really awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. That's why I told Joe. I said, you're in sometimes, and Davey was here a time or two. Who else was here, Joe?
Ricky,
yeah. So obviously they're not regulars because they're just helping out, and so like anything to help you guys make the call a little bit easier, I'm willing to do that. And I think that just helps both of us in the long run, really.
Well, it helps connect those threads throughout the races, Roger. And before we let you go, again, congratulations on a great season. Not obviously the night you and the 51 ski team wanted to have, but we'll let you, the floor is yours. Thank all those sponsors after a great season here.
Yeah, yes, thanks. I want to thank, well, you said it, Joe Ski, the primary sponsor. They've been on board the IndyCar all season, and will continue through the 2022 season. So that's good to get them locked in for another season. So hopefully I can provide them with a few more shout outs in the near future. I would also like to thank Valentine Tire and Automotive, who's been on the car a couple of times, and the late model, local here in Monticello, Illinois, where we're from. If you want some, what they call it, old-fashioned service at a reasonable price or something like that, yeah, go see them. But I think Dog is the only one that's anywhere close to me, so I don't think he wants to drive an hour 15 minutes to go get his old van worked on. So but yeah, CompuType Computers, they provided the new computer PC last year, so I was able to get the game up and running a lot better. Apologize for the grandfather clock in the background, so that tells me it's time to thank the wife as well, because that is her mother and father's clock. Obviously we lost them in 2019 and last year, so we inherited that. So thank the wife for letting me do this, and I think that's about it. Well, obviously Tom and Rich for having me come on board and creating this league, because this was absolutely fantastic. I think this is the most fun I think I've ever had in sim racing. I want to thank Herman for coming over. I want to thank Steve for coming over. I hope they had a good time, even though they didn't make it the entire length of the race. And I think maybe next time we'll get Rod in here, because Mackenzie keeps asking that we should interview her dad. So we'll do that sometime soon. Yeah, so I will just look forward to starting up a little short season in June and go from there. And thank you guys for everything you do. It's been fun rewatching these, and it's just been an absolute blast. So thank you guys again.
Yeah, and that's what we do. We try to give you guys, at the end of the day, we're trying to give you guys a great outlet to kind of showcase your racing skills, have some fun, make it a little more realistic, make it a little more fun for you guys and for all these leagues that we do. And we appreciate you guys. We appreciate all our leagues, all our viewers. Like you said, Mackenzie, saw Rubino clan tuning in tonight. Spatafora wasn't feeling well, so he wasn't here for the race, but he was tuning in. I saw a lot of familiar faces, as we always see here on JTN. Thank you to the fans for really being the driving force behind getting these broadcasts done. And Roger, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us. Thank you so much for taking the risk on us last year with the first championship race here at Michigan that we did, and looking forward to many more of them hopefully in the future, and can't wait to come back in September.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it. We'll see you guys soon.
Roger Nevelsack, driver number 51, Ski Soda Machine. And Tommy, that's going to conclude our coverage here tonight from the Michigan International Speedway. It always feels good to come home.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a pair of fantastic finishes and great races here at Michigan, and both of them a number 2 car won and punched their ticket to the to greater heights. Sean Whitehill with the playoff victory to get him into there, and of course Richard Fankel winning 2 championships and the race tonight.
A great finish to another great race at the Michigan International Speedway. I believe the most broadcasted track, honestly, on JTN at this point. It's fitting. It's fitting here for Michigan. But folks, thank you so much for taking the time tonight on a Monday night for tuning into JTN. We appreciate that more than you will ever know. Make sure if you haven't already, hit that like button and subscribe. Next time out will be this Thursday with the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series from the Martinsville Speedway. It's a little short track Thursday night action to get you ready for the return of the Cup Series and Xfinity Series this weekend. The actual Martinsville Speedway for some night racing. It's going to be a fun time. You're not going to want to miss it. Ricky and I will be on the call there. Tommy, thank you so much for taking the time with us in the booth tonight. And playoffs starting for the USORL in a couple weeks. They're going to be fun. Make sure you check out Tommy's World on JTN because, Tommy, you always do a great job with those. And again, thank you so much for taking the time to come up here in the booth with me tonight.
Absolutely, Joe. Great to be here, and great to have all these fans at home watch a great race and end to the season.
Well, and this is the end of our broadcast, so I'd like to make sure we thank our producer, Bristol, Tommy Bordeaux, myself. We appreciate you guys so much, and from all of us here at JTN, thank you so much for watching this broadcast. I am slipping over my tongue once again here at the end of these broadcasts. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Hopefully you tune in on Thursday night for the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series. And if not, then we'll see you guys next time all live right here on JTN. So long for now, folks. Yeah, and they're going to be 3 wide coming to the checkered. Never mind, they're going to be... Oh, Maverick! Oh, wide!
What that?
Turn 4 into the tri-oval. Whitehill is through the grass. It's going to be Noah Joyce winning his first career race in the Red Bull Cup Series.
All right, and they're wrecking behind them. We got cars flying everywhere. Cars upside down, but it doesn't matter. Noah Joyce has done it. He's won at Daytona in the 3 car.
Comes Musa. Musa's gonna.
Oh, he's going to use that apron.
He's gonna use the apron.
They're going to be side by side. Coming off the corner. Boy, back to the inside. It's going to be a drag race to the line. Musa gets it.